Well, here we are again, sitting in our remote studios for Radio Entrepreneurs. My name again is JDavis. I'm the host of Radio Entrepreneurs, also CEO of Mage LLC, management consulting firm, working with leaders of organizations to help achieve strategy and create change. My guest host today, always love to see him, great guy, Evan Macedo, VP Finance and Operations, Sapers and Wallack. Welcome back, Evan.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's always wonderful to be here. And you know me, I'm always trying to support our local greater Boston community with everyone's employee benefit and financial and insurance needs.
Well, you're always here to make me look good also, because, I struggle. But our next guest is Eric Solem, president of Lee and Associates Boston. Hello, Eric. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Sorry about that. Can you tell us about Lee and Associates?
Yeah, Lee and Associates is a national broker-owned firm headquartered in Southern California in Los Angeles. And we've been growing tremendously as entrepreneurs. Each office is owned by the local brokers, which creates a whole commitment and passion to success. We have 1,500 brokers across the country, including Canada. So it's U.S. and Canada. And we opened up the 65th office 4 years ago. So we just celebrated our 4th anniversary. Super excited to have those 4 years under our belt under a great firm.
Well, you guys, I know I've done phenomenal work. I know I've personally been working with you guys to move our own office space for Sapers and Wallack, which I can't say good enough things of your work and your team's work. I do know that the real estate market, especially the corporate real estate market, has been changing drastically from year to year. We had COVID, we came out of COVID. There's this hybrid work environment that people are still contending with today. But I wanted to ask you, can you give us a little bit of color on maybe where last year ended with the corporate real estate market and what you're seeing for either opportunities or challenges in today's market?
Yeah, so, Boston's not immune to high interest rates and the struggling economy and the geopolitical influences. But I will say we're fairly resilient with life sciences, healthcare, and typically a smaller user market. And you've probably seen many cranes around Boston, and we've continued to grow our office and industrial base here in Boston to almost 750 million feet overall in the Boston market. But it is softened, especially the office market. We're also seeing that in the industrial market because of affordable housing or housing. There's been a cutback in purchases, which decreases the need for warehousing space. But that said, the office market's been hit the most since COVID. There's no doubt about it. Hybrid workforce is here to stay. We can see it in Boston on Mondays and Fridays. Very little traffic. Ridership on the MBTA is 70% of pre-pandemic levels. So that's part and parcel to what we're seeing in the market. So as a result, there's great opportunities for companies to get a discount on the rent they would pay in the city, and to get beautiful space that is in many cases needed to attract people back into the office. So it's a flight to quality is really what we're seeing. Where we're seeing towers continue to hold their own, and then the low-rise assets struggle a bit.
Well, also, I guess, since we are looking more of a hybrid, and culture seems to be the key, especially the millennials, Gen Zs, the way an office looks nowadays must look very different as well, because you want people to want to come in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Free lunch, access to socialize and collaborate and create, trust and camaraderie in the office is certainly needed.
But you have a background. How did you get to where you are now?
Oh, yeah. So started my career in the Air Force, joined the Air Force at the age of 18, And I found that to be the avenue for me to really create discipline in terms of process and effectiveness, and just be always focused on learning, contributing, and advancing my career. I spent 8 years in the military, and then after I got out, ended up in the technology field, consulting and working with software development for companies, and then ultimately landed in real estate 20 years ago to focus on being close to home in Boston, and found it just an amazing career opportunity. So I really loved real estate and have a tremendous passion for working with companies and helping them be successful. So it's met that need in spades.
So you went from your feet in the air to your feet on the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah. A little bit different pace of play, but nonetheless exciting.
Evan?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for your service, Eric.
Oh, thank you. I'm grateful.
I also want to ask, I recently went through this a year ago, negotiating lease terms. When you are working with, I don't know if it's a robotics company or professional services company or a retail company, whatever it might be, when you're trying to negotiate lease terms, are there certain areas that people should push back on a little bit more to try to get in today's market that you think is worth pursuing?
Absolutely. Yeah. So for business owners and their stakeholders, face rents are very important. So that's what's conveyed as a face rent. How do you work through that and get value by meeting that need and understanding it, but yet meeting the needs of getting concessions on the tenant side? We'll see tenant improvement dollars that can be allocated towards other than improvements, such as free rent. And we'll see that as an effective way to meet both sides' needs in terms of getting economies for the tenant that needs to save money. And that's our ultimate focus. And then the ownership side of the equation for a lease in terms of meeting their face rents.
Eric, I'm sure your field is extraordinarily competitive like the rest of ours, but how do you differentiate yourself?
I'd say three things that we really focus on to differentiate our people, our commitment, and our passion. Our people, like in the sense that each of the offices I mentioned earlier, we're broker on, so we all have ownership stake in our success and our client success. So that really helps us get the best and brightest and give them a stake in the play. Secondly, our commitment. So we work in teams, and that's a way to be effective in terms of challenging each other and making sure we're not missing anything. And we have bandwidth to really try to drive success for our clients. And then our passion. That's something that's certainly been important to me. Integrity, being passionate about success, and that rings true with our team here. We're always focused on that.
That's great. I want to wish you continued success. If somebody's looking for you, wants to know more about you or the firm, Lee and Associates, how would they find you?
You can find me personally on LinkedIn, Eric Solem. You can find us via our website, lee-associates.com/Boston. My email is esolem@lee-associates.com. So those are the three best ways.
That's great. Evan, how do people find you?
Very easily, Jeffrey. I would go to our Sapers-Wallack.com website, click on the team page. You'll see me and all of our other advisors on it. So if you ever want to talk about your own executive benefits, employee benefits, or business insurance needs, I'd be very happy to have a conversation with you.
That's great. And I want to thank both Evan and Eric. Sorry, that's the company's Lee. Oops. For being on Radio Entrepreneurs today, and we will follow with more stories.